Morning, it's Thursday and the last writing lesson for this week. As you should already know, tomorrow, Friday, is another lighter learning day. So there will still be some activities for you to do on the website, but it will be something a little bit different like you did before half term and not your usual maths and English learning. So we've got some nasty writing back for today's lesson, and today's nasty writing is all about suffixes. Prefixes and suffixes. Today we're focusing on suffixes. Can you remember? Prefixes and suffixes are little bits that you add to the beginning or the end of a word to change the word in some way. Where does a suffix go? At the beginning or at the end? Well, the big clue is prefix, prefix, and pre means before. So the suffix goes at the end of the word. And when you add a suffix to the end of a word, it often changes what part of speech it is. So, for example, happy is a feeling, an adjective. Happiness, ness is the suffix, makes it into a noun, a thing. Sometimes you have to change the spelling. So, for example, with happy, the Y, I'm sure you all know this, the Y changes to an I. So sometimes the spelling changes, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the suffix also changes the word's meaning. So for example here, I've got the example of careful, which means you take care, and careless, which means you don't take care, you do things without care. So sometimes it can change the meaning as well. And these are the four suffixes that you particularly need to know in year 6. Unts and untsy and ents and entsy. And really you just have to learn which one to use. Sorry, someone just made me jump because they came to the door. You just have to learn which one to use in terms of your spelling. So I've just got to write a couple of sentences today. You don't have to write 6 to 8. I don't know why I put 6 to 8 on there. What was I thinking? You could write 2 to 3 sentences like you would in school. And the first thing I've got to do is choose one of these words and make it into a noun using one of these suffixes. So I've decided to use this word, vibrant. I love that word. It means very bright, very colourful, very bold. And if I don't know what any of these words mean, I could look them up. You should know what a lot of them mean, but there might be one or two. If you're not sure and you'd like to know, look them up in a dictionary or on the internet. And if I'm not sure how I should put a suffix on the end of that word, I could check that on the internet too. But I know, luckily, that it is vibrancy. So, a bit connected to yesterday where I was talking about how I love the colour green. I love the vibrancy of the leaves and the trees and the grass, I should say, not the trees. I love the vibrancy of the leaves and the grass in spring, when everything starts to blossom. I do love it. It's one of my favourite times of year. It's such a bright colour, isn't it, compared to later on in the year when everything's kind of dulled a bit. It's so bright and new. I love the vibrancy of the leaves and the grass in spring when everything starts to blossom. So I might underline that just to show that's the word I've used. So yeah, 2 or 3 sentences. You could always pause the video there to do that task and then restart it to look at the main task for today. We're thinking about pattern in poetry again today, and today we've got a lovely poem from Pye Corbett, who's actually a writer who lives in East Sussex, and his poem is called Recipe to Make a Wolf. Take the rushing of a storm cloud, the growl of a dog in a corner, and the song of a whale adrift for her voice. Take the shrug of drifting mist, a bonfire smoke swirling, and an old man's beard for her coat. Take the strength of an elephant's tusk, the jagged tip of a rat's bite, and a slice of slate for her teeth. Take the speed of a squirrel's dash, the softness of a dove's feathers, and the fire's fine ash for her eyes. Take the stab from a heron's beak, the flick of a dolphin's tail, and the strength of cement for her claws. So really powerful poem. It's basically a recipe to make a wolf. And you can see there's a very clear pattern in this poem. So each verse or stanza begins with take, and then for each verse, Pi Corbett chooses a different part of the animal. So he's chosen the wolf's voice, then the wolf's fur or coat, then the wolf's teeth, then eyes, then claws. So each verse ends for her voice, for her coat, for her teeth, for her eyes, for her claws. So for each part of his animal, he's got 3 ingredients that he could stir in a great big cauldron or pot to make his wolf's teeth, eyes, or claws or whatever. So it's almost like you're imagining him, with a big witch's cauldron, taking different ingredients, dropping them into the pot, giving them a big stir, and making a wolf. So, you guessed it, you're doing a similar thing today. You're going to choose an animal. You're going to choose a different part of the animal for each verse, and you're going to use the same pattern as Pi Corbett. You don't have to have 3 ingredients for each verse. You could have 1 ingredient. So you could just have take the growl of a dog in a corner for her voice. Or you could have 2 or 3. I think 3 is quite challenging, but if you want to challenge yourself, that's fine. The poem that I'm going to show you, that I started writing, I've done 2 ingredients for each stanza. So take the something and the something for her something. You could say his if you want to make your animal masculine. It's up to you. So you should probably have at least 2 or 3 verses in your poem, but you could have 4 or 5 like Pi Corbett. So as usual, there is a success criteria on the website. So it helps you here with the pattern for the poem. Make sure you're using all your senses again, powerful adjectives and verbs. Can you include some of those words from the nasty writing? You won't be able to use very many of them, but maybe 2 or 3 of them. Okay, so the first thing I've got to do is choose an animal. My favourite animal, or one of my favourite animals, is a cat. So again, I might do a little mind map over here to get me started today. I might think, what are my verses going to be? I'm going to describe the cat's eyes. I don't think Pi Corbett did that, did he? Oh no, he did. He did describe the wolf's eyes. So because I think a cat's eyes are really important. They help a cat see in the dark. Something else I think is important for a cat is its tail. So I'm going to describe the cat's tail because it helps it balance, doesn't it? It helps it jump onto things, walk along fences. I'm going to describe its fur or its coat, like Pi Corbett did. I think claws as well, because they're important for a cat. Shall I do teeth as well? No, I think I'm going to do ears, because I think a cat's ears are important. So I'm going to try and do 5 stanzas, 5 verses in my poem, but I might decide, once I've started writing, actually this is harder than I thought, I might just do 4 and leave one of those out. So now I'm going to think, what do these things make me think of? So eyes. Cat's eyes are green, aren't they? They really sort of glow in the dark. So they make me think of emeralds glowing in the dark, or something really bright green. I might have a green pencil pot in my bedroom, but comparing a cat's eyes to my green pencil pot is not very helpful for the reader, because the reader may never have seen my green pencil pot. So make sure you're thinking of images that are really strong for the reader. The reader can visualise them, or smell them, or hear them, or feel them. So I'm thinking of like a really bright green, you know how you see those bright green snakes in nature programmes? Tropical snakes in the jungle, bright green snake. And somehow that's the right kind of green for a cat's eyes. It's quite a powerful, strong image as well. What else? Claws I'm going to think of next. They're quite easy to think about. They're obviously very sharp, aren't they? So sharp. When cats jump on a fence or something with their nails, or on a tree, they cling on like nails, don't they? So if I think about nails, like nails that you use to bang up a picture or something. So sharp nails, they're very strong. Oh, nails aren't really sharp actually, are they? Nails are strong. sharp, like a knife, I suppose. Like a knife cutting through something. Because they are quite sharp, cat's claws, aren't they, if you've ever been scratched by a cat. Okay, I think that's enough to get me going, but that's how I would plan before I started writing my poem. That might only take me 10 minutes, and then I've got sort of half an hour or so to write my poem. So, let's have a go. So I'm going to start with recipe to make, recipe to make a cat. That's my title. So you can choose what any animal you like. It can be domestic, like mine, or it can be wild, like the wolf, or it could be more exotic, something you find in the jungle. It could be a polar bear, it could be an owl, anything you can think of. So I'm going to start with take, like Pi Corbett. And then I'm going to have 2 ingredients, and then I'm going to have, for her, I'm going to do eyes first. So if I just map my first stanza out like that, it gives me a bit of help because I can see the pattern then. I might even do that for my second one actually. Take 2 ingredients, and I'm going to do claws for her claws. There we go. Okay, so I've got to think about using senses, using powerful adjectives and verbs so that the reader really knows what I'm talking about. So let's look at some of my notes I made earlier. That's right, I was thinking about emeralds. So I don't want to just say take some emeralds, a bit boring. I need to really make it clear to the reader why I think emeralds represent a cat's eyes sparkling in the darkness. It's a really sort of bright, piercing sparkle, isn't it? So I'm going to say take the piercing sparkle. I'm not going to have space now, sorry. I might just have to rub some of that out. Some of my plan. Take the piercing sparkle take the piercing sparkle of a diamond. Take the piercing sparkle of the brightest diamond, because it has to be really bright and strong. Let me move this out of the way. Comma. Take the piercing sparkle of the brightest diamond. And now I want to talk about the green snake skin. Oh, now we had those words in our nasty writing. Let's see if I can use any of those. Which one would describe a snake's skin? Oh, brilliance, because it's really bright. In fact, that's the one I'm going to use. That's perfect. And, so I'm only doing 2 ingredients in my poem. Take the piercing sparkle of the brightest diamond and the brilliance of a tropical snake's, ooh, nice apostrophe S there to remember. Because whose skin is it? The snake's skin. Oops. Take the piercing sparkle of the brightest diamond and the brilliance of a tropical snake's skin for her eyes. I'm not sure I need the comma. I could put it there. But it's almost like my sentence is continuing on to the next line, so I'm not going to put a comma. That's up to you. Take, excuse me, take the piercing sparkle of the brightest diamond. Oh, sorry, not diamond. I wrote diamond by mistake. I meant emerald. Sorry. Take, did I have diamond on my plan? Oh no, I did have emeralds up here. Sorry, just gone a bit mad there. Take the piercing sparkle of the brightest emerald and the brilliance of a tropical snake's skin for her eyes. Now, what notes did I have for claws? Because I've rubbed it out now. Oh, that's right, nails. So nails are very strong. So I could say take the strength of iron nails. Nails can be made of iron, can't they? Take the, somehow that makes it seem stronger to me, the iron nails. Take the strength of iron nails, and then I want to say that they're very sharp, like a knife. So I don't want to just put, take the strength of iron nails and a knife. Could be a butter knife, that's not very sharp. Take the strength of iron nails and the cut of what kind of knife? A bread knife is quite sharp, a vegetable knife, a hunting knife. Yeah, the strength, or I could think of something a bit more sort of mystical, like a sword or a scimitar. That's probably a nicer image, actually. Take the strength of iron nails and the cut of an ancient sword. So that's what I love about poetry. I didn't actually have that written down anywhere in my notes, promise. I had something a bit more boring, to be honest, about a sharp knife. But sometimes as you're writing, other things come into your head, other images pop up, and you can just change as you go. Take the strength of iron nails and the cut of an ancient sword for her claws. So I've already written 2 stanzas of my poem, and I'm quite enjoying this. I'll probably end up with 5. I probably will do all the body parts that I thought of. So I hope you enjoy that today. Have fun with it, and have a lovely day tomorrow, and a very good weekend, and I will see you again next week. Bye.